Good morning, friend. I am feeling so wonderful. I have just been building momentum, and I absolutely want to give a shout out and acknowledge the last 4 posts by Edward Art Supply on his Reddit. They have been so incredible, and have just allowed me to get in there and do some tweaking, some minor adjusting on my focus. And I tell you, it's so ooh, I just can't emphasize enough how helpful his posts are. And so one of the things that he talked about was just giving yourself 1 minute, just 1 minute to give yourself what you want and to really immerse yourself in that feeling of the wish fulfilled, basically. And, I can do a minute easily, and it takes a lot of extra added thought out of it, which was something that he mentioned, which is, to just get out of your own head. You don't have to use your intellect and your brain to push and strive and to manifest. And I'm definitely in my head a lot. And so I really took his words to heart. And I've also been listening to some Neville Goddard. And honestly, there's a new fellow that I've been watching his videos and getting a lot from his way of explaining the perspective of this as well. And that's Raymond Ironbody McKinney. I like his messages, and I like the way he puts it out there. So I've just been, marinating in a mix of good stuff, really using it to help me kind of distill the essence of these truths so that I can just be more clear about what it is that I'm doing. And something that I wrote yesterday that I was informed was insanely good is this: I simply assume I am, attaching nothing unwanted. So when I'm doing a visioning, my inner screen, when I'm giving myself something in my imagination, I just assume, and either that I am it, that I have it, that I've done it, and I don't attach anything unwanted to that, whatever that is, the desire, the feeling, and I don't attach anything unwanted to it once I've given it to myself, which I think is really important, because sometimes you'll give yourself something that you want, and then you'll try to slip back into the previous states of, and it doesn't have to be a big, like, where you're doubting or you don't really know, like you are still focusing on the observable, what is, and that just by focusing on that, the thing that isn't what you want, the way you want it to be yet, can conjure up little emotional hooks or thoughts that kind of keep you in the limited state of beingness, where what I'm talking about is just being boom, just like wide open with your assumption that what it is that you want is done. It is, you've got it. It's yours. Or you are it. You are that you desire to be. And I'm just getting so much confirmation that this is indeed powerful, accurate, helpful. Really, the best way to go about it is to just give it to yourself, assume that it is done and that it is real, feel how good that feels, and don't try to drag anything unwanted back into the screen of your imagination, the screen of your vision. If you've already given it to yourself in your imagination, why would you imagine anything unwanted along with it? Or why do that? It's like stomping around in a mud puddle. I mean, it's amusing for like a few seconds, but then you've got a mess. And I'm not going to bore you with another crazy metaphor, but my point is, I don't need to do anything, I don't need to drag anything unwanted into what I'm giving myself. And since I am, everything I'm giving myself is going to be reflected back to me, which is really powerful. I'm starting to get really comfortable with it's more than a concept, but as you're moving from the intellectual focus and perspective, it feels like a concept to believe that you are I am, and that you are powerful and capable of giving yourself everything that you want, and that what you want will be given back to you. It's sometimes hard to wrap your intellectual mind around that premise, but that's why it's not really your intellectual mind, your rational, logical mind. That's not its job. It's not needed for this. You don't need your logical, rational mind in your imagination, because you have boundless potential, and everything and anything that you want to feel, be, do, experience, you can have that in your imagination. You can give that to yourself. No holding back. Not even the tiniest little thing. So you can, like Edward Art says, give yourself everything lovely, and be gentle and be loving with yourself as you're doing this, because it's not a race, and it's not a competition, and you don't have to force it, because you already are it. You already are I am. So it's just being in a space in this present moment where you begin giving yourself the truth of yourself And you start feeling the momentum of that, and feeling how good that feels. And it feels so satisfying to have that contented feeling that lifts all the anxiety and stress and worry and confusion and doubt and all of those other things. They're not there. They don't exist as a part of that, as a part of I am. Those are just things that we've slapped onto our experience. In our human experience, we bring a lot of unwanted things. So, and it stymies the process, and that's okay, because when you get the hang of doing this in your physical experience, everything just starts opening up and flowing, like in ways that you can't anticipate. So I've just been practicing doing that. I've been feeling so wonderful, because honestly, I've stopped making it harder than it needs to be. I've started really giving myself exactly what I want, and if in a moment something arises and is presented to me in the observable what is, that is unwanted, I don't take it. I don't have to take it. I can, in my heart, I know what to do about it. You know, it's like I have a course of focus and action that I can take in my own, beautiful imagination, and there's nothing stopping me. And so it's just, the more I have practiced this and allowed myself to really open up to this, the more the observable what is, the outer world, is showing me that what I'm doing works. It's working, and I'm gaining, like, it's that kind of confidence that you gain when you have done something and you know it works. Then you don't think about it. You don't question yourself every single time. You don't slow down the process. If you know how to cook an egg and you know how to do it really well, you don't have to keep practicing doing it really well. Once you've gotten the knack and the hang of it, you know exactly what you're doing. And that's what this feels like. It feels like I'm beginning to know exactly what it is that I'm doing. And so, something that was mentioned by Raymond in one of his videos is that a lot of times, as you're making really good progress in your spiritual studies or, understandings of things, and you're actually applying them and it's working, and then there'll be a big shakeup. So, something will happen, and it'll feel like it won't feel good, and you could probably say a setback or just something like that. But he said that, and I agree, that a lot of times those things happen because it's helping you kind of get the knack of how to do this, so that it's solidified. If you don't give up, and if you persist, and you just be persistent and consistent with your determination, then you reach the finish line in how you give to yourself what it is that you want. So, and it reminds me of the story that Neville tells about going to the potter's shed and working on your revisioning. You don't throw the clay out. You don't discard the clay. You keep working it until it's what you want it to be. That's really what this is about. You can have things that pop up that don't feel good, that that can feel really bothersome. That's giving you impetus to be persistent and rework the clay until you have what you want, because there's nothing to throw out and there's nothing to discard except states that you no longer want to experience. And so giving yourself, sculpting the clay and giving yourself what you want and the states that you want to experience, that's what we're talking about doing here. And you can do that. You can have and reside in whatever state you want, and you can go back and forth until you have had enough and you just know better how you want to move forward. So I don't know, it just really tickles me because it feels like a triumph and an achievement in my in my life, in my experience, to be able to genuinely feel that what I'm doing is working and giving me such satisfaction. I'm receiving feedback in my observable what is that it works. And that's my experiential evidence coming to bolster me up and help me build momentum towards doing more and more and more, giving myself more and more and more of what it is that I want, to the point where the desire thing is just a flicker. It's a little flicker in my mind of, oh, that's something I would like, or this is something I would like to add to the beingness of my life experience here. And that flicker is immediately given. I give that to myself. I allow that to happen. And that's, I think, the biggest achievement that I am experiencing with these teachings. And I'm just excited about it. I just, it's like when you feel something really new and wonderful is opening up for you, and that you get to walk through that doorway into that next space, this beautiful space, and you get to inhabit it. It's better than any material thing. I like material things, don't get me wrong, because they're fun to play with. They're fun to use that as a way to build my momentum. But this place that I'm inhabiting is something that can't be taken away from me. It's who I am. And so things that seem to preoccupy most people's mind. And yeah, I mean, they pop into my attention at times, is fear, any kind of fear or worry or whatever, something unwanted. But I've been working on this, like, relentlessly, not pushing, but just persistent, relentless attention with my focus and what it is that I'm responsible for, what I have control over, and really just beginning to really get the hang of how I'm able to give myself what I want every day, and just building that confidence. It just feels like shedding old skin or an old coat, something that I no longer have use or need for, and that is anything fear-based. Because I have put all my trust and focus and attention on what is true. And in truth, in the I am, in the imagination, I don't have any time or interest in fear. I can imagine anything I want, right? Why would I drag fear into that story? I don't need to. If I want to be scared, I'll go watch a scary movie. I'm not gonna scare myself with all these other thoughts and things, especially about just crazy stuff, things that go on in the world, things pertaining to your loved ones. I'm not gonna scare and terrify myself with fear-based thoughts when I can do things that feel wonderful to me. So I give myself lovely things, and I surround myself in my imagination with beauty and light and joy and love and everything that I want. And I see this building momentum in my outer world, reflecting what I'm doing and reflecting it back to me in my experience. So I guess this is a little bit of a happy testimonial of how, if you just be persistent and consistent, that it won't fail you. And that it's okay. Everything is okay. And we're here. And we get to have the life that we want to live. We get to choose what we experience. And how beautiful is that? How beautiful is it that we can be from all over the world, and yet we can share these truths with one another and make our lives even richer, even more joyful, feel even better, because we live in the digital age, It's nice. Yeah. So I just wanted to make a short video to say these things to you and to let you know that things are going really well. And I've been jotting down notes about things that I want to dive deeper into and see if we can get just bring more clarity to what we're doing and how we're doing it. And also, I'd like to say, for me, happy holidays to anyone who celebrates the holidays. And wherever you are in the world, whatever your beliefs are, I just see you surrounded by love and light, and that you are very beautiful and adored, and life is good. And this world is perfect just the way it is. And you just keep perfecting it by being you. Thank you for being you. I appreciate you. Till we talk again.